label it as a freestyle on the video. And, of course, it's going to get views, especially if, you're known. But, like a real artist or like somebody who knows how to freestyle or whatever, like when they hear something, they know if it's a freestyle or not.
Yeah.
You can tell by the eye movement. You can tell by you can just tell by body language.
Okay. So we're live, bro. What's going on, people? I'm your host, Double R, and you're now tuned in to Retro Rob Television with my brother.
What's going on, guys? Young Nixon, man. We in here, man, about to chop some shit up, man. We got serious topics to talk about. We got a lot to talk about right now.
Yeah. Glad to have Nixon back, man. Glad to have you back in the fold, brother. We was. Go ahead, bro.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, we was busting it up today, man, chopping it up about a few topics, interesting topics. And I was looking to make this video on Cassidy, but I thought about it last night and I was like, you know what? I'll just record it. And me and Nixon just started talking about it, talking, and it was a lot of things that he was talking about that was related to the video that I was going to actually do last night. And Nixon don't even know this, but let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly before we cook. True Sinister in the building. Marquil Porter in the building. What's up? Also, y'all already know. If you want to call in before we do that, if you want to call in, call in. If you don't want to call in, that's fine as well. Let me see. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up, man, before we get cooking, man.
It's like opening up the doors, bro. You got people coming in, man.
Yeah. Let me type it. Can y'all hear me? Because I don't want to go in and then they can't hear. Okay, Marquil gave me a thumbs up. Truth is all that matter is in the building. Cass, he said, what he say? Truth is all that matters, said Cass ain't going to do great things. I guess you meant to say Cass is going to do great things. Cass will probably be Eminem level in this battle. Hey, I want to say something about that. That's part of the problem, man. We was talking about this yesterday. Like, that's part of the problem. This going from a 5 and a 6 to a 10 talk in this I'm better than Lux, I'm better than Mook God's head talk. Like, that's part of the problem. Like, we got to stop that. We got to scale back on that. Not just Cassidy, but Cassidy supporters, man. We got to scale. What do you think about that, Nixon?
Listen, my opinion, I have to see it. So, what we were talking about before, man, like, Cass definitely has the ability. He has the ability to really break down and take on any opponent that he does face. The question is he going to do it? Or how is he going to do it?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So me and Nixon was having a conversation, right, about Cassidy's past battles with Disaster in particular. I want you to tell the people kind of certain things that you've seen with that battle that showed you Cassidy actually can probably pull this off if he puts his mind to it.
Of course. So, obviously, that's a classic battle. Him and Disaster. We're talking about, that was like, 2012, 2013? Around that time? So, we're talking about, maybe 5-6 years ago? If you think about it, 5-6 years, that's a long time. Like, people change. You know what I mean? People change every year. So, but going back to that battle, Cass fucking broke down that dude's eyebrows and fucking took his style, fucking literally broke down his whole character. And you could tell in the energy, Disaster had the lyrics. Disaster's a lyricist. You could tell. He's inspired, from the GOATs and shit, M and, all the rappers and shit. But long story short, Cass literally broke that dude's soul down with not only his own style, but also clowning on him, how he looked, really what battle rap really is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about breaking down your opponent.
And I want to say this too, right? It was kind of like, and I was just telling Nixon, it was kind of like, remember that scene on Space Jam when the Monstars took the basketball stars, what was it, Muggsy Bogues, Charles Barkley, Jordan, when he took their energy from the basketball and kind of sucked it into the Monstars, and they became, you know, the basketball players with their already, animalistic features. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's kind of what Cassidy did. Like, we were just joking and laughing, like kind of like a male succubus in a way, in a strange little way, where Cassidy was able to kind of suppress like what is known as the onslaught of Disaster, because Disaster gets off with his energy and with his rapid rapping style. Like, he gets off with that, and Cassidy kind of suppressed that. And Cassidy did it in a dope ass way with his mannerisms too, bro. Like, Cassidy's mannerisms and his swagger. Like, with Cassidy's swagger, Cassidy has this weird thing but it's special, where he could kind of like, his swagger can kind of affect his opponent. You get what I'm saying, Nixon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cassidy's swagger, like, I don't think people looked at that. Whoever's calling right now, let me know who's calling in. But Cassidy, I don't know how to really explain it. Like, people didn't pay attention to Cassidy's swagger in that battle. Like, his swag, and it's funny because he was heavier in that battle. He was a lot heavier, and it was like we needed that. And it looked like when he was heavier, he was much more healthier. People automatically think that when you're smaller, you're healthier, but he looked actually healthier, and it showed in his performance. He was on point. He basically was on point. He was checking off all the boxes. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He was on point. Go ahead, bro.
He was flexing with his swag, man. Like, his swag, like what you were saying, like with that mix, minding you, I'm telling you, he wasn't lyrical. Like, there were lyrics in there, like, but as far as the lyrical level compared to Disaster had him lyrically, but he literally depleted Disaster of his energy. So, like, the type of energy that Disaster had, like, like, if I was Cass, I'd be like, oh, who the fuck is this dude, man? Like, I'm about to fucking wreck him, man. And that's what he did. He literally swagged on him, flexed on him, and used witty bars and literally broke him down piece by piece by piece, like Jenga blocks.
Exactly.
And he took the battle.
Stuff Williams in the building. Jay Lano in the building. Truth is all that matters. I just said he in the building. True Sinister. True Sinister tried to call up. Okay, I want you to call up next, bro, but I want Nixon to get off his point, that we were talking about before this video first. Also, who else is up in here? Marquell Porter. What's up with you, bro? Who else? You got up in here? I like to do my roll call. Let me see. Who else we got up in here? That's about it. Salute to all the brothers that's in here, and salute to all the ones that's going to be listening after this live. But go ahead, bro.
Salute. But yeah, like what we were talking about, man, like Cass could bring this type of energy to his battle versus Hitman.
Now, no. Now, I want to continue to stick to the Disaster. True Sinister. Again, I'm going to have you call up after we finish making this point. So, I wanted us to stick to Disaster a little bit more, and how Cassidy was able to, like, it's kind of like pressure points. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
It was like pressure points. He was able to, it was tactical. It was real tactical. And you know how Cassidy and Jag like to always throw around that strategist word. I'm a strategist.
Yeah,
that's what Cassidy was, a strategist. His strategy and him being a strategist was on full display against Disaster. Because Disaster, to avoid that onslaught that Disaster brings, and that's probably why Alki David and all of them and Lush One and them chose Disaster, because the type of energy that Disaster, and I ain't gonna be honest with you guys, I didn't think Cassidy was going to be able to handle the type of energy that Disaster was going to bring to him. because Cassidy has this kind of like slow, lethargic kind of style. And I just thought, and he didn't battle in a while, so I thought he was going to be a bit outdated. But he surprised me. So what we're basically saying is Cassidy does have the ability. But what I want to ask you, Nixon, is how would that translate against somebody like a Hitman Holler?
He has the recipe, bro. All he has to do is just cook it up again and fucking dish it out.
So what are some of the things that you can see him kind of like saying about Hitman?
The fucking trash disc that him and Conceited and Nick Cannon put out against Eminem. Like, they tried putting out a diss track. That's one angle that Cass could take. Cass could also take two that, you know, Hitman's fucking on Wildin' Out. And he has Nick Cannon behind him and shit. You know, almost like a sellout in a way. There's definitely a lot of angles that Cass could take against Hitman in his upcoming battle.
You know, one of the things that you're doing, Nixon,
What's up?
You probably don't even know that you're doing. You probably do. But one thing you are doing that's very beneficial to Cassidy is one of the problems in the battle with Cassidy, with Arsenal, and well, it really wasn't much so with Goods, but definitely with Arsenal, is his subject matter.
Correct.
You're basically showing Cassidy, okay, these are certain topics, like Cardi B veneers and pissing and coming at the same time, playing with a D like a linebacker. Like, Nixon is showing him, okay, this is what you can talk about that's going on currently. You know, and it's so funny, it's so strange because Cassidy is able to do all of those things in the face-off.
Yeah, he's personal in the face-offs. He has to be personal like that in the battles.
But I think he gets this, it's this transformation that goes on in his mind where he kind of like, I got the crowd where I want them now. Now I can push what I want to push. This crowd, this modern day crowd doesn't work like that. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that, Nixon?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you an example. Think about the Disaster battle when he was battling Disaster. He wasn't worried about the crowd when he was in the garage. Feel me? He was targeted on Disaster. He was also targeted on Goods in the first round. You get what I'm saying? If he doesn't let his mind wander to the crowd and try getting the crowd, he just stays focused on his opponent, man. Like I said, if he's more personal, he has to be personal with his opponents. That's what Cass is known for, man. Fucking wrecking his opponents and being personal and breaking them down. If he stays focused like that against Hitman, we're gonna get a classic, bro. We're gonna get a Cass that we've been waiting.
You know how they always say, don't talk to react, talk to listen, or how they say don't listen to react, listen to respond, or something like that.
Yeah, don't worry about the reaction, but worry about
Like if somebody is talking to you, don't react to respond, or something like that. But it works in reverse for Cassidy.
Yeah, it's like having a conversation, man. Like what we're doing right now, like we're having a conversation with each other, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be worried about how other people are going to react, but in a way, like, I get it. Like, yo, shout out to everybody, by the way, who's tuning in. But this is a prime example. Like, especially in a battle, like, you got to be focused and locked in on your opponent. Think about it like as a missile, and you're about to hit a fucking target. Are you worried about like whoever's watching or whatever? Nah, you're gonna be focused on guarding that fucking missile and hitting the target that you gotta hit, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the recipe.
And that's what I think it is. Don't listen to react. Listen to respond. What I mean by that for Cassidy in reverse, I got it right the first time. What I mean that for Cassidy in reverse, notice most of the battle rappers, right? They cater and create their material for reaction. Tay Rock, Goods did it in the battle against Cassidy. Goods even admitted it in the Uncle Raw interview. I believe it was Uncle Raw, or Hip Hop Is Real, one of them. And he said the mistake that Cassidy made, he actually, when we were saying that, Goods actually admitted that he catered his material to the crowd, to what the crowd think. But we can tell, we knew that. he said the problem that Cassidy had was that, and Goods was actually right at that time. And I still kind of feel like Goods is a piece of shit. Like he a piece of shit for that. Like, because it shows that you're not a real, you're not a real rapper.
Yeah, you're trying to entertain a crowd, and in reality, battle rap's supposed to be like what you said. Like, you're supposed to get your opponent to respond. You know what I mean? Instead of
see what Cassidy did. What Cassidy did was right, but he executed it poorly. And I'm gonna tell you why. With Cassidy, when you're a artist, like a real artist, you're supposed to come up with your masterpiece and allow the people to follow. You're supposed to have the people play to your tune. You're supposed to make the creation, and the people are supposed to follow the creation.
Yeah.
But you have to give people something enticing enough for them to want to follow it.
Absolutely.
That's what Cassidy did not do. Cassidy had the right idea. He just had the wrong execution. The right idea was, okay, I'm going to have people, I'm not going to write shit catering to what people want or what they believe is the shit or dope. I'm going to write what I want to write. And all the great ones do it. Loaded Lux, Murder Mook, all of the great ones. Verb, they just create their own shit, and you decide whether or not you want to follow it. But what they don't do is they don't create it and put they all into it and do enough of their research to know what people like, what people don't like, what topics will hit and what topics won't hit. See, Goods was writing his shit off of what he think people would feel. Verb and them write their shit off of what they feel and doing their research at the same time.
For sure.
Cassidy wrote his shit off of what Cassidy believes it sounds good. You never do that as an artist. Like, I've worked with dudes and wrote for certain people. Yeah, Double R wrote music. And they call it like a ranger, I believe. The dude was telling me, a producer said that's a ranger, kind of like how Diddy was. You have the ear for the music. Like, you don't necessarily know how to rap, but you can write a little bit and you have an ear. Okay, this is where it goes. Like when Biggie was rapping some clucker, ducker, like some street shit, and Diddy was like, nah, let's play this old school, oldie but goodie. Biggie like, what? I can't really rap to this shit. Yeah, you can. You have the ability. Like, I was able to see abilities in people that they didn't even know that they had in themselves. Basically. So when I say what I say about Cassidy, it's not me hating on Cassidy. When I say what I say about Jag or anybody else, it's not me hating. Is I seen and I see that you can do more. And I'm not going to allow you to cheat yourself ultimately or cheat the people. So that's the purpose of us doing this video, and that's the purpose of my channel, literally, is to bring the best out of people, not to down them. But Nixon, we're in a world where people will call critiquing hate.
Some people will, some people won't. Yeah.
People will call you a coon because you're telling them the right thing. You're directing them in the right spot. So back to the topic at hand. Cassidy have to work on his subject matter. So back to what you said, Nixon, about the topics Cassidy can talk about, like the Hitman's brother. What else?
Oh yeah, Hitman's brother. How basically like he steps in, and shit for to fight and all that stuff. Like you bring up Hitman's brother, but then again, other people have brought that up too, against him. But it's still an angle if you can flip it right and do it in a way that nobody else does. Yeah, there's definitely a few angles that you could go, at Hitman for.
So now, I shall never die. Salute to you. I shall never die. Salute. I want you to answer this question, Nixon. He just asked a question. He said, also, it gets ugly for Cass when he starts using the same word repeatedly too much to rhyme. How do you feel about that?
Can you give an example real quick?
Yeah, give us an example. Let me read that again. Also, it gets ugly for Cass when he starts using the same word repeatedly to rhyme. Okay, just any random word. But I'll tell you one thing about Cass, why he get that together. I'll tell you, hold on, did he say? No, he didn't say nothing yet. I'll tell you another thing about Cassidy too. His style. You see what I'm saying? Like we seen Chilla with the scheming. Chilla has drastically, miraculously improved his style because he sped up his style. The scheming wasn't bad. It was that slow flow. Cassidy is going to have to speed up his flow. And Cassidy showed, and my man King Tally pointed it out in that remember that freestyle?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, with him and what's old boy name? Fred Money?
Yep.
Cassidy had some parts in there where he was speeding up his flow. You know, exactly. I don't know if that was actually him. Like, this is the question I didn't ask King Tally. I didn't ask, period. Was it actually Cassidy or was that, the mixing and mastering? You see what I'm saying? So we don't know nothing about that. But one thing we do know, like, Nixon, have you ever known Cassidy to flow fast?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so he does possess the ability. So he's going to have to speed it up. Like, that slow, listen, man, and all that slow shit, he going to have to speed that shit up.
He could and he couldn't. So it all depends on the impact.
Yeah.
Like I said, it all boils back down to how direct he's going to be who's standing in front of him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know that the difficult thing with Cassidy is that you don't know whether or not it's him being stubborn and he's holding back, or he just simply don't have the ability at this point in time. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out with Cassidy. Does he actually? And it's easy for people that don't know Cassidy to assume he does and to assume he don't. But only he knows, huh?
I have a feeling that I know. I think he's more worried about the crowd and the crowd reaction.
Of course.
Instead of, like I said, it all goes back to being direct and being more focused on your opponent than the crowd's reaction. Like, I'll give you an example, like the Goods battle. Yo, the fifth on me, like I shot at sacks, and you could tell, like, he kept going after that, and the crowd started going crazy, and he stopped. That's the time when you want to cater to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back at your fucking opponent.
It's not a doubt in my mind that Cassidy, he would be very, very wise if he do so. That Cassidy got that Goods first round on repeat. He got to have that Goods first round on repeat because that was some of the best work. That was some of the best work I've seen in battle rap, period.
Absolutely. It was actually, which, by the way, he dirtied Disaster. But going from that to his first round against Goods, you could see the improvement and actually the adjustment of what battle rap is today. And I don't think a lot of people, I'm not saying that they don't understand that, but you have to take that into consideration. Like, you have to see the improvement from the Disaster battle to the Goods battle. You know what I mean?
And people don't even know, not to cut you off, bro, but people don't even know that first round against Goods was so good that Cassidy literally, and that's another problem people have, Cassidy rapping too long. Me, I don't have a problem with people rapping too long as what they're rapping is fire. You see what I'm saying? Like, Lux raps long, hella long. Mook raps hella long. Daylight can rap hella long at times, but their shit be fire. So I be trying to, I be like, keep going. I be like, keep going. I want to hear some more. But with Cassidy, I was like, man, cut it right there. That shit garbage. You see what I'm saying? So if Cassidy could have took that first round from Goods and pieced that first round up into 2 other rounds, that would have been an easy 30 back to back. So that'd have been Disaster 30, Goods 30. If he could have pieced that first round up into 2 more rounds, easy 30 against Goods. Because Goods didn't bring nothing to the table to this day, nobody is able to tell us what Goods actually said. So that'd have been easy 30. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. with the whole filtering out, yeah, absolutely. There's some bars that were in there that just didn't hit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird though. And what I mean by weird, like there were maybe back-to-back bars that didn't hit, and the next thing you know, he had 3 more other fire bars after that. So like, I'm not talking about the setup or anything like that, but like I agree. Like if he filters some of those things out, like some things don't hit, but prime example, that first bar, bro, like when he came out right out the gate, fire.
Exactly.
Fire.
Bro, I keep telling people, man, my wife was in this joint and she don't really know Cassidy from battle rap. Like she know Cassidy from music. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, and we was in this joint jumping up and down. Well, I was like, oh yeah, Cassidy hit now. I said he hit now. It's over. I looked at Smack, I looked at New Nails face and Smack face. They couldn't believe it. They was looking. I was like, look at them motherfuckers. You can even see Calico behind Cassidy. Calico was looking like Calico damn near was about to take his shades and shit off. He was like, oh shit. And I'm like, Cassidy about to shock everybody in this motherfucker. And then he did a transformation happen in that second and third. I don't know what happened. Go ahead, bro.
I think it was a boo. It was probably his first boo, and I don't think
he took it well. Yeah.
I think that's what kind of set it off. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it, man. Like put yourself in that dude's shoes, man, and just like imagine like hearing boos like from whether it's from the front row or not, which it was.
But Nixon is also like what we talked about, bro. What we talked about. Imagine being 16, 17 years old, the world at your feet up until this point. The world, everybody is at your mercy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does something to you. And I always told, like, I use this analogy, right? He said, Nixon said that's what happens when you're backed by the machine, right? And I told Nixon, I said, in what is in the back of most of the machines? A battery. And sometimes a charger, depending on what it is. You feel me? And that battery fused what we know is the narcissism, the ego, the mentality that I'm too big to get criticism. I'm too big for somebody to help. And that is what planted the seed of the results that we have now with Cassidy.
He did step away from that, though. You know what I mean? If you really think about it, he did step away from that mainstream light. And I respect that.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in control? You feel me?
Of course.
But yeah, like back to what we were saying, man. Like, I know Cass has the ability. I know he does.
Okay.
He's already proven it to us. It's just now it's consistent. It's the consistency.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You just said it. It's just consistency. But that's almost like not doing it at all. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When you're inconsistent, that's almost like you didn't do it. So, not to disrespect you, bro, but I'm just saying for the purpose of the conversation, right?
Sure.
Him having those good moments means absolutely nothing if he don't finish it off the way he started it.
Yeah, that's facts.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's like going to a barber, bro. Like you go to a barber, you have your barber and shit. Gives you a fresh cut first time. You know what I mean? You go on your day, everything good. A couple weeks later, man, you go back to your barber that you know what I mean, that you locked down. That's your barber, right? He fucks up your beard or he fucks up your haircut the second time. You gonna want to go back to that barber after that?
Hell no.
Nah, exactly.
I tell my barber, man, give me a straight box in the front and in the back. I don't want no fucking oval shape. You ain't gonna have me looking like no goddamn Steve Harvey and shit with the Batman shape up.
Oh, shit.
Nah, fuck all that. I had a female cut my hair one time, and I had like an oval. You could park the Batmobile in the front of that motherfucker. I had a fucking oval shape, shape up. I said, no, I told you straight line in the front. Straight box in the front. Everything is straight line. Straight shape up box, straight line in the front, straight line in the back. I don't want no oval shape. Don't get cute. Don't try to get pretty. But go ahead, bro. I'm reminiscing and shit. Go ahead.
Yo, basically that's the analogy I'm giving. Like, Cass really needed to do it this battle, man. It's make or break for a lot of people, man. Including myself, battle rap wise for him. And even if he does come out and he, you know what I mean, shows that he could do it because he's done it before. He's gonna have to do it again. Like I said, consistency. It's gonna have to keep happening.
So repeat to the people, right? Reiterate to the people some of the things that Cassidy could possibly target when it regards to Hitman.
Well, that it could target that he's Nick Cannon's bitch. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, you could say that his top tier fucking rap is garbage.
Well, you can kind of do both of those. You can kind of target that he's Nick Cannon's bitch and he's Smack bitch, and he's running back and forth with him. He's undecided on which one he want to be with. But go ahead.
That's a good point right there too, man. Fucking Hitman's top tier fucking verse, personally, in my opinion, was caca. It's bad. I didn't like it. You know, there's a reason why Hitman doesn't make music.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Sticks to battle rap. Cass could definitely use that to his advantage, that he could do both worlds, make music and battle rap. Sticks to battle rap. You know, Hitman and fucking Nick Cannon's Eminem disc that they put out with Conceited. It was a while ago. Could use that against Hitman. Could use Hitman's brother against him. You know,
he can use a lot of shit.
How he looks. You know, like Cass could go in different bags, you know, against Hitman, but this battle, but you know, we're gonna have to find out, man.
Carlos Rosado, salute. Hey, we got Nixon in the building, people. For those of y'all that don't know, he back with me. So Carlos Rosado said Cassidy is going to talk about Show Out. He's going to talk about Wildin' Out. He's going to talk about he has no bars or performance, while Cass talk again about how he started URL. What you think about that, Nixon?
I agree. I can see that happening.
What do you see? Okay, go ahead. You about to do it.
I was gonna say I could see fucking Cass fucking mimicking Hitman with the whole fucking little remix shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, Cass remixing Hitman shit, and then basically clowning him for just performance and him having not the bars. Because honestly, if you really think about it, Hitman is where he's at now because of his performance.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a fucking top tier lyricist. He's not. I think everybody could agree on that. He does have lyrics, like Hitman does have bars, but it's not at a level of like, say, a Mook or a Verb or a Daylight. He's not bar heavy like that. But the whole jumping around on stage and entertaining the crowd, like.
And this is why, bro. This is why it's no disrespect to Jag. And salute to my brother, True Sinister, man, with the $16 cash out, brother. Salute to you. Also the cash app link. What'd you say, Nixon?
Shout out to him, bro.
Most definitely. Also the cash app link is right there. I'm about to send a PayPal link if y'all got PayPal, man. Salute to y'all, man. Thank y'all. All I need is the support, man. My brother Nix, he brought something to my attention, you know, about just doing it for the love, you know, and I told him people want to hear me talk about Cassidy, you know, so which means you want to be entertained by that. So you have to pay for your entertainment, just like with anybody else. You feel me? So, what we gonna do? What we gonna say? Okay, Case Plug in the building. What's up with you, brother? I'm telling y'all, we getting a humorous Cassidy that was with Disaster. Now, what route do you think he should take, Nixon? Do you think Cassidy should take a humorous route or a more serious route, or kind of both?
Make sure both has to be balanced. Like, yo, the key to life is balance, by the way, guys.
Talk to him.
For everything. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
If you have balance in your life, you're good. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta keep shit balanced. So in this aspect with Cass. If he takes the humorous route and also have the bars heavy and being serious at the same time and being humorous, like, I mean, that's Cass. That's what we know. Like, him clowning on people. Like, look what he did to fucking Disaster. He clowned that dude. Like,
I'm gonna keep it real simple for Cassidy. Cassidy, if you're listening, I'm gonna keep it real simple. Take what you do in your face-offs and find a way to translate that into battle format. Very simple. Take what you do in your face-off, because you're, like Nixon said, you're very direct, which means you talking to the person that you're battling or about to battle at that moment. Do that and
go ahead. The crowd's gonna follow. Don't worry about the crowd. Just go off.
Because you know Cassidy come from an era, and I know he said this time and time again, he come from an era, and the thing that he likes about battle rap so much is the reaction that he get, you know, from dope bars and stuff like that. In this particular generation, in this society today, 2021, don't worry about that. Like Nixon said, don't worry about that. Because really, in today's time, performance is king. And I know Cassidy is on some innovative type shit. See, Cassidy is thinking in his mind that they'll get it later on down the line. So I'll just continue to battle and I'll collect these bags and I'll do what I do. And my shit is so deep and so out of this world that they'll get it later on down the line. And to be real, like Double R know how to do so well, to be real, that's delusion, Cassidy. You feel me? Like, that's really delusion, bro. That's delusion. Ain't nobody gonna check for that shit. Like, the Disaster battle, although some people feel like it was classic battle or good battle, it really don't have replay value. The Goods battle kind of has replay value, but after a while it won't, because of your performance in the second and third round. If they do watch it, they're probably going to watch it to see that first round, which means they're still going to watch it. But at the same time, do you want them to watch it just for that? I know Cassidy is a competitor. I know he ain't sitting out here just putting bullshit together, even though it turns out to be bullshit, you know, certain things. I know he's not intentionally putting bullshit together. His intentions, I truly believe, are well. But that's why you have to get another person's opinion on certain things, other person's advice on certain things. That's why you can't leave. I always told the dudes that did music with me and stuff, the worst thing that you can ever do to stunt your career is to be a fan of your own shit. Like, some people will say, well, you can't be a fan. I mean, you can't be an artist if you're not a fan of your own stuff first. In a way, but not really in general. Because if you're a fan of your own stuff, then you're clouding your judgment or the room for correction. You see what I'm saying? Like, because you're going to think, of course you're going to think that everything that you say is hot. That don't mean I feel that way. That don't mean Nixon feel that way. That don't mean the brothers in this live feel like that. Of course you're going to think, you know, your shit don't stink. You know, so it is what it is with that. But yeah, what you want to say, Nixon?
At the end of the day, you should care about how his opponent's going to react. I'm saying that, like, on the real. Like, yeah, we're all going to have our opinions and everything, but if you're going to fucking bar somebody right in front of you and they're reacting, like I said, we saw it with him versus Disaster. And on another note, too, he's also battling on this platform his first time. This is his debut on RBE. We might see a different cast.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I felt like URL did him dirty.
Explain.
That first battle with Goods.
Yeah, could you elaborate on it?
Yeah, I can elaborate. So, all the other battle rappers were up in front, booing, and we clarified that. I believe you put out a video before about that, like, with all the other battle rappers and shit, like the haters and shit, like the Avengers or whatever. Like it was almost like it was kind of like a setup, like to have like the odds against them at first, and then the whole Arsenal battle too. Like I'm not giving excuses, you know what I mean, for his performance or whatever, but it was almost I do feel a way that like URL was trying to set him up for failure. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. Like he's gonna be on a different platform and shit. And if he does good, and we do see a cast that you know is a solid 8, 9, or a 10 out of 10 on RBE with this battle coming up, that's gonna say a lot.
So I'm gonna give my take on that, right? But I wanted to go back to what we were just talking about because Carlos just made a great point or piggybacked off the point that we made. He said, "No, you're an artist and you appreciate your work, but being a fan makes you complacent and lazy." Yes, yes, and also too, it also proves what people have been saying about Cassidy. He's narcissistic. He's egotistical. You see what I'm saying? He's admiring his kind of like Kanye esque. You know, you're just admiring yourself so much that you're not, and kind of similar to Jag with the oh my god shit. You see what I'm saying? You're not giving other people a chance, the real people that determine, you know, how much you will make moving forward, you know, how big your name will become. See, this is what they don't understand. You know, battle rappers, just celebrities in general, anybody that's, you know, that has a fan base. You have to understand who got you there and who's going to keep you there and who can take you into another stratosphere. Sometimes people get that fucked up about the fans. Remember who the fuck got you there. So that's who you're making that shit for. Now you're gonna, of course, show them like this is what I'm made of. This is, you know, this is me. This my creativity is, you know, is what make me me. But also, it's the fans that make it possible for you to get paid for your creativity. Don't forget that. See, that's what people forget because they get on that high. They get on that high horse, and they forget who the fuck got you where you at, and who's keeping you at where you at, and who can take you to the next level. You know, you can't take you to the next level if you don't have fans that are willing to invest into it.
That's facts.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I believe that's where Cassidy is, where, like you said, he clearly has the ability to do it, but he's being kind of stubborn. And that's what I got in that goods battle. I got, okay, how did you go from hitting the hippo and knocking the elephant down? And, you know, he said, you said they fronting like they got your back, goods. He said your boy Charlie Clips plays swear to God, but couldn't swear to God his father wasn't a rat, goods. Like, how the fuck you go from that? And like you said, keep the fifth on me like I shop at Saks. How the fuck do you go from that to the other shit that you was rapping in the second and third round, which wasn't bad, but it the energy almost felt like it's either you, the boo crowd, like Nixon said, had a great effect on you, or you was like, okay, I got them to like what I feel as though they like. Now I'm gonna push the science. Now I'm gonna push what the fuck I want to push. And that can kind of be misleading in a way. That's what I kind of got. But Nixon, you brought up a very interesting point about the boo crowd kind of throwing him off and him getting that boo.
Yeah, because you see the downward swing after that.
It might have been a mixture of both.
I mean, remember when he ended it? Was it the second round where he said, where he's trying to say, "I'll shoot you building up like Fortnite."
Yeah.
If you listen to the 500210 track, that whole shit, like when he said like your doo doo under doo doo nails, like yo, if he ended up getting that shit off, because apparently like that shit was supposed to be said in the battle, but he didn't end up getting it off. But like I think he was thrown off, man.
Oh yeah, and another thing you just reminded me, bro. And another thing, there, I heard through the grapevine. I ain't going to say no names, but I heard through the grapevine through some reliable sources that, and we seen it in the 5002 and 0 jump that he dropped, the freestyle that he dropped after the battle.
Yeah.
Cassidy wasn't initially going to rap that shit that he rapped against Goods. It was some other shit. This is what I'm hearing. This is not what actually is the case. This is what I'm hearing. He had some other shit that he had, or some, not even just some more shit, because we know he had some more shit, but he had some other shit and he kind of altered it. You can't do that. Like you can, and he did, but it's that type of shit that it's kind of like gambling. It's a funny gamble because what if, like we just seen, what if the shit that you initially wanted to come out with was the fire shit that was going to get the crowd?
Facts. Because when I heard that shit in the track, I was like, holy fuck. I'm like, why didn't you say this in the battle? You know what I mean? But I think with the booze and everything, like, I don't know. I don't know, man, but you just brought up a really good point, man.
Yeah. And because I've seen it, I've kind of heard a little bit of this about Jag too as well. And that was fucked up. Not to get off topic, but that was fucked up what Mav did to him too. How he agreed for Jag to, rap a little bit longer. And then once he seen how Jag was rapping, he put in that word, the ARP ear, to cut his round short. That was some sucker shit.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's about to get smoked. But going back to what you were saying, like how you're saying like he altered his rounds, that wasn't supposed to be the rounds that he spit against Goods.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you an example. You know that song Raid, right?
Yeah.
Where he went at Meek Mill for like fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I over exaggerated.
Insane.
It was probably like 8 minutes. He probably wrote so much material for Goods that he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get everything off. And that's a problem itself right there, because now you're stuck sitting there with material and extra material that you wrote for a person. You know what I mean? You're trying to alter it.
And then another thing, go around somebody, not saying me per se, but go around somebody, because I'm not qualified. When you ask Cassidy, I'm not really qualified. So, you know how you say a person that don't make over 6 figures ain't qualified to tell him shit. So it's funny how people always say, "Well, Double R, why you heard Cassidy raps? Why you didn't say what?" I'm not qualified according to Cassidy. I don't make over that. So I ain't worthy according to him. So at the end of the day, go around somebody that is used to dropping, them bombs, used to dropping them haymakers like that. That's gonna tell you, okay, Cassidy, that one gonna hit. That one gonna hit. Nah, that one, you might want to, or it's another way you can put that to make it hit. Like Twerk. That'll be the perfect person. That'll be the perfect person for Cassidy. Like, think about it, Nixon. Think about it, people. Twerk could be the perfect person for Cassidy to go talk to.
Yeah, but do you think that Cass is going to trust a purse snatcher?
No. But I'm just saying how the crowd relates to Twerk, and they kind of like bend to Twerk's mercy.
Yeah.
Like, even when Twerk chokes horribly, they still find a way to try to save this nigga. They did it in the Jada Nightwing battle when I thought Jada Nightwing beat him. Clearly.
Yeah. But then again, you also have to realize too, like Twerk's energy or whatever, like he's zoned in. That goes back to what we were saying. Like, you have to be zoned in on the opponent. Let the crowd react. Let the crowd follow.
But I'm saying that's what Twerk can kind of do for Cassidy. He could kind of bring that, or what's already in Cassidy, depending on how you view it. Like Nixon feel, and a lot of people feel like Cassidy already have it. He just need that extra push, that extra oomph, or that extra, mentality to want to do it. Me personally, I'm kind of skeptical on whether or not Cassidy really has the ability to do it. You see what I'm saying? So
I don't blame you for feeling that way, because, like I said, look at his last performance.
Yeah, hey Nixon.
What's up?
Hey, you gonna be in the live because you know people trying to tap in, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, bro, appreciate that, man. Stay in the live, man. If there's anything else you want to talk about, if you ain't busy, and there's anything else you want to buzz in on, to comment on, you already know. And somebody that already left out, you're more than welcome, bro.
Hell yeah, bro. It's all love, bro. Appreciate you.
Most definitely.
Right,
call in. Okay, nigga. Yeah, whoever want to call in, call back in. Life is everything. No, life is an everyday struggle. The problem with you, Rob, and the other guy is that you need to leave it to the professionals. Cassidy don't need any advice. Cassidy done sold mad records and will be in his bag with Hitman Holla. Well, life is an everyday struggle. I hope this is you calling. Probably not. But I would like for you to call up and elaborate a bit on that. If you got the balls, if you got the kahunas. But let's get this call. Who's on the line?
Rob, can you hear me?
True Sinister?
Yep, this is me.
My brother, man. All right, we in here. What you got for me, Chan?
All right. First things first.
Oh, ho. Go ahead. What you about to say what I was gonna ask you?
No. I was gonna ask, did you get the PayPal too? I hit you with a double portion, the Cash App and the PayPal.
Hey, bruh. Salute to you, brother.
Yeah.
Salute to you. I appreciate your support, man. That's all I ask for, man.
I got you.
I appreciate you, man. But I want you. Oh, I think you might be the perfect motherfucker. I want you to answer this question that I just was asked, right? Or the statement, whatever. The life is an everyday struggle said the problem with you, Rob, and the other guy is that you need to leave it to the professionals. Cassidy don't need any advice. Cassidy done sold mad records and will be in his bag with Hitman Holla. How do you feel about that?
Well, number one, I want to know if that was like a serious comment or if it was like a troll comment, so to speak. Cassidy is good at, you know what? I don't even know what Cassidy's actually good at right now, Rob, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
This is not like we're in the applied pressure mixtape days. Like,
talk about it.
This is not like this guy's going on Cosmic Kev or Hot 97 just spitting flames right now. But see, here's the thing, Rob. I was never as big of a Cassidy fan as you are, and I feel like I may be the wrong guy to ask.
But the thing, True Sinister, is I was never a big Cassidy fan. It was never a point where I was a huge Cassidy fan. It was a point what my whole movement was putting respect back on Cassidy's name. Like I'd seen Battle Truth and all of these guys, you know, downplaying Cassidy, trying to sweep all of his accomplishments and stuff under the rug to the newer viewers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the newer viewers. Like we already know what time it is with Cassidy. Can't nobody tell us different. But to the newer viewers, they were trying to act like Cassidy ain't do shit so they can lift up these other new battle rappers. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, well, yeah, man, it's marketing because Cassidy, even if Cassidy won every battle decisively, he's not here for the long run. He's Mr. Chicken. He said it himself. Like, they cannot continuously capitalize off Cassidy the way they can do their homegrown talent. They can get more per gate if we had audiences with Cassidy per event, but Cassidy's heart is not really into this.
Hey, that's a hell of a perspective. Cassidy already said it, and Cassidy also said losing too. Yeah. Remember in the good face off when he was like he lost to his son in 2K, he was fucked up. You know when you hate losing to your own son, you hate losing. Period. You hate losing. Like,
did you catch the other day what I was saying? I feel like before we announced Jag versus O-Red, we already were having like this social media Jag versus Hitman thing. And I said, I feel like Jag is deliberately doing this to show Cassidy how it felt.
Hey, hold that thought real quick. Hey, Carlos, just like I tell and everybody else that's in here, please do not cash out me, or I mean, please do not super chat me.
Super chat.
Please do not super chat me. Cash App, PayPal, because you know YouTube take 30%. So please do not do that. Appreciate the love, people. So what you was about to say, bro?
Yeah, I said Jag dissing Hitman was a chess move. It was reciprocation. It's like, I can show you what you just did to me in the 40 battle. You know what I mean? Like it was some below, it's a subliminal. You know what I mean? This is a tit for tat thing on Jag's end. I also feel like Jag feels like he don't care if Cassidy bombs, because think of it this way: if it's the same event, the same crowd could see Jag shine if he pulls it off right. If Cassidy just goes out there and has another Arsenal-like performance that night.
And see, here's the thing, True Sinister, and you just sparked the thought in my mind, right? And you know how I always talk about, and tell me if you agree or disagree, how I always talk about people are overlooking one important aspect of this whole thing, and that's the collision course that Jag and Cassidy seem to be on with each other.
No, you're right. The writing's on the wall. It's just not direct yet.
Yeah, it's not direct yet. You think? Exactly, because I guess they're trying to, keep whatever. I'm not going to even say fake relationship, because I don't believe it's fake, but it's certain elements of fakeness in there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I think it really comes down to Cassidy just being a bit of an asshole. I can curse on here, right? It's not the radio, right?
Man, bro, come on, man. Yeah. Again, I do cash apps and what's the name? So I don't.
PayPal's.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
So, what was the name of the last caller? Nelson. Shout out to dude.
Nixon.
Nixon, yeah. I want to respectfully disagree about some points that he made. There's room for respectful disagreeing, right?
But before you respectfully disagree, I want to get this off real quick, real fast. Yeah. This is what I want, people. You see what Nixon was doing. You see what True Sinister is doing. This is all I want. See, I'm not the type of person, and don't get it fucked up. I was just telling Nixon how I have all of these tremendous thoughts about politics, about I just know the world and know people. I've never been super smart academically, but as far as knowing people, my OG, he called it worldly smarts. I have worldly smarts. I know people inside and out. I know the world inside and out. And I be having all of these crazy fucking thoughts that I wish I would be able to share with y'all. I done had crazy fucking phone conversations with Jag and Cassidy that I wish were interviews with y'all. Y'all be like, damn, there's a lot of truth for this shit. Like, this shit is dope. But, certain people have a certain way that they want to do things. When I'm referring to people, I mean Jag and Cassidy. You don't know how many times I done told them, man, come on, let's do it live. Nah, I'm all right. Nah, I'm straight. Because certain people are looking out for their own benefit. They're not looking out for yours. And I'm saying this to say this. A lot of people, especially in this situation, aren't who they are perceived to be. You see what I'm saying? So what we were just talking about, what you were just saying.
Oh, I said I was gonna respectfully disagree with Nixon about some points that he made.
About what?
And I was asking if it was okay though. I mean, and then you were
about what you was talking about, Jag.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm gonna switch back to what he was saying about Cassidy though.
Go ahead.
But I do find it weird that Jag can't live with you, but I've literally seen Jag on 40's live, and then when it seemed like Jag was really clouding 40, he kind of cut him off. But the past is the past. But back to Cassidy. Nixon keeps giving Cassidy credit for Disaster. Yeah, Disaster's good at freestyles. Disaster's good at rebuttals. But it's kind of like he's only good at freestyles and rebuttals and acting like a coked out professional wrestler. So to speak. He is just so... Shout out to Disaster. I talked to him before. He's a nice guy, but he's kind of easy for Cassidy. You know what I mean? Like, even in real time, when he did the whole "I'm arsenic," the Cassidy imitation of Disaster, he wasn't saying
nothing. He wasn't saying shit. Cassidy wasn't saying shit. He wasn't saying
it
was
was just the shot value.
It was the timing. It was the timing, bro.
So let me say this. I know. Let me bring up something that I know that you're too young to know in real time.
Yeah.
But I think everyone knows about historically. Did you ever hear about Muhammad Ali versus Foreman?
Uh-huh.
How Ali just spent the whole time in the ropes letting Foreman tire himself out. Genius move, but it only works one time. Cassidy can't just Shang Tsung everybody and pull off that strategy against other people.
And if
we're going to be honest,
mm-hmm.
Cassidy was not really looking that good the night before. When, the venue in Los Angeles where they were supposed to battle, but they were turning off the lights and everything. Yeah. Cassidy could have very well lost that night.
Holy.
Yeah. And not only that, let me say this about Cassidy's personality. Rather than Cassidy doing what it takes to win, he would rather argue in a mixtape track or an interview why he was right, rather than doing what is right. Rather than up his performance, he says, I'm not as good as everybody else about throwing my hat in the air and making it land backwards. Like, Cass has an answer for everything, but we don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, he will double down on what he's saying as if we don't get it. But people don't care about this science, this formula. And let me just give this type of advice. Cassidy, if he's going to come with punchlines, it can't be like the exact same punchlines that he used against Arsenal Goods or anyone else. Like, I don't know if oversaturation is the right word, but Cassidy has a certain predictability, and it makes people roll their eyes like, oh, another one of these lines? Like, he's going to have to switch it up somehow, but I don't know if he knows how to switch it up in a way that works for him, because Cassidy's still so used to being stuck being Cassidy.
Hey, Stuff Williams laughing like shit. That's real talk. Yeah. Hey, this is what I want, people. Like, that's what I was saying at the beginning before I went into some whole other shit. This is what I want. I want what True Sinister is doing right now. See, I'm not like everybody else. It's easy to just hit record and just say a whole bunch of shit. But to me, that's like preaching to the choir. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want us to think a little bit deeper. Like how he doing. I want us to have these deep conversations. I don't like doing all the, the fanboying and the ass kissing and everybody coming in here listening to me talk great things about, like, when I go back and look at my old videos. You still here, True Senator?
Yeah, I'm still here.
When I go back and listen to my old videos, I kind of feel embarrassed of myself, because it's like, and this is the first time I'm saying this, because it's like, I said, damn, although I had a reason for me doing it, like putting respect back on his name, I kind of got carried away with it and fanboyed out. And that's why I could see why people was viewing it that way. Like, oh yeah, you was a Cassidy fanboy, you was a Cassidy stan. It was because I started to alleviate from my original intentions. My original intentions was to put respect back on his name. And when I seen other people trying to discredit him and disrespect him for what he did, and I kind of got carried away with it, and started to see the views and all that shit, but not knowing that those views were because people were happy to hear me talk about who they were really there for. You see what I'm saying? And when I said Cassidy lost, those same people left. So that was something I kind of got a little bit, I felt a little bit disappointed in myself for allowing myself to go down that rabbit hole like that. And I kind of somewhat contributed to what we see today with Cassidy. But go ahead, bro.
All right. Also, Nixon was saying that Cassidy could talk about, Hitman being Nick Cannon's bitch. And I'm like, I don't really work for me when you have Cassidy bragging about being on the first episode of Wild 'N Out and being on the last episode of Wild 'N Out. How are you going to disrespect the platform that you've been on multiple times and use like that? In terms of, him being on the Nick Cannon diss to Eminem, I'm like, that's like me saying Hitman, all he got to do is make fun of Cassidy for doing a freestyle about condoms. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
and majority of the crowd is going to be there to see Cassidy lose.
Indeed.
So the thing that you just pointed out, you better believe the crowd already have that in their mind. They already have that in their mind. If he started talking about wilding out and how Nick Cannon is a slave to wilding out and all that you were actually on there. But go ahead, bro.
So the last point I want to make, I got to go get a haircut and stuff, but I want to elaborate on Nixon's point about URL trying to do Cass dirty. I said this before. I think me and you disagreed on this, but I felt like we picked Goods for a reason. Because Cassidy already beat Goods and bragged about Goods. There's a symbolic value of having Goods, quote unquote, win against Cassidy. And every battle rapper after Goods, like Arsenal just did, is going to pretend and force this narrative that Goods won, and it helps build up the Cassidy fell off image, even though Cassidy really did. Even if he didn't lose to Goods, he didn't win the way that he should have. Just like Jag didn't win the way he should have with 40. It's how you lose and how you win, Rob.
So before you go get that haircut, God damn, man, how you gonna start this shit and then go get a haircut on it? But damn, hey, Jag, let's get back to that part real quick before you go. So are you saying the same way you said they build from the Goods battle, they gonna do the same thing to Jag with 40 Cal?
Absolutely. But speaking of Jag, I want to bring up another point. I'm sorry, I just remembered something. You know how Mav has that show? I can't see you watching it, but the one where he's in the barbershop and he's talking to people.
Yeah, I don't watch that shit. That shit garbage.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But I remember one time 40 was like going over lines with Mav, and he had one of those, the ones where you say hair instead of here, like you lost hair, like a bald spot. And then, Mav told 40, don't use that. Cassidy needs a don't use that type guy, someone to tell him this doesn't work now.
What?
And I literally feel that could have been Jag before, but Cassidy ain't gonna listen to anybody. Whereas at least 40 would listen to Matt.
Shit, that could have been me.
Absolutely.
He damn sure ain't listening to me. Go ahead.
The greatest athlete in the world still needs a coach,
Rob.
You know what I mean? Even if you're a doctorate in psychology, you still can't treat yourself. It's like I can't give myself a haircut right now, Rob.
Hey, True Sinister. I'm gonna tell you two things, right? You right.
Yeah.
The greatest players in the world still need a coach. Kobe had Phil, Mike had Phil. But another thing too, LeBron is probably the only one that pretty much coaches himself. But everybody can't LeBron through life. But you know what LeBron also does have? LeBron has the power to put other great players with great minds around him.
LeBron also has rings with several different teams.
Exactly.
Diversity.
Exactly.
So have a good day, and
thank you, bro.
Good luck with the rest of your stream and your channel. All right, Rob. Thanks for having me on.
My brother. All right. Salute. True Sinister, people. True Sinister. Whoever else want to call up, man. Interesting. That's what I be talking about, y'all. That's what I want. I want people to think, like, use your mind and think. Stop allowing other people to think for you or waiting for other people for you to be like, okay, I'm going to make my decision based off his decision. No, make your decision based off your analysis. Let's go. Los, what's up with you? Hold on. Okay, say it again, Los.
What's going on, y'all? It's Los, everybody.
Carlos Rosado in the building, the one and only Champ. What's up with you?
What's up with you, Champ?
Man, I'm chilling, Chizant. What's up with you?
Shout out to the other two that was on. Shout out to Nixon. Shout out to Sinister. But my thing is, with everything that everybody said, the one thing that's the most important to me is that with the performance and with him doing this and him doing that or what he needs to do, none of that's going to matter if it's not updated. If it's outdated, all that shit is for nothing.
Elaborate.
Well, all right, I'm going to put it in a basketball term, something you will understand more, right? You're on the court.
Mm-hmm.
You put a sick ass move on the dude.
Okay.
And that stumble, fall, whatever, but you missed the layup. You understand what I'm saying?
Ooh, I know that feeling, boy. I've done that a few times.
It's all for naught. It doesn't matter. They're not going to remember the crossover as much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if Iverson pulled that move off on Jordan but didn't make the jump shot, motherfuckers would still won't give a fuck about
it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like Cassidy can do adjustments, he can do this, he can do that, but if it's not updated, if it's not up to the par of what they have today, then what's the point? Why would you want to see him?
Exactly. It remind me, and not to go off into no other shit, but it remind me of the and one shit. Like all that shit look cute, but you gotta finish it. Like that shit don't mean shit. Like, but go ahead, bro.
It's all about the finishing. It's not about the start. It's about the finish. Now, another point that I want to make is that Cassidy is very calculated, and he knows why he came back, but picked RBE, because he knows how the crowd was with the URL. But that's with anybody. They're very biased. So that's not excuse for Cass. That's just they just know that they're a biased crowd. Now, to me,
and it's not about where Cassidy's battling. It's because it's Cassidy. You see what I'm saying? Like I want Cassidy to realize wherever you go at King of the Dot, you could battle on go to Philly in your hometown and battle on Battle Rap Academy. It don't matter where you're going.
Right.
It's Cassidy. You're Cassidy. You can't run from yourself.
Right.
And that's what I don't want Cassidy to do. That's what he seemed like he's doing. He's running from himself, but in his mind, he's right on schedule. No, embrace it and correct it. But go ahead, bro.
Right. So to me, I think, like you said, out of all this stuff, even though he knows he's Cassidy, I think, would you agree that RB is the most unbiased crowd? Compared to the other, the main ones. Compared to King of the Dot,
I believe Cassidy will have more support on King of the Dot, because people
more support on King of the Dot. But what I'm saying is, do you think that the RBE, as far as that's the most balanced crowd, as far as opposed?
Yeah, because RBE is more like for you remember like wrestling. I don't know if y'all are real big wrestling fans, but you remember like all of the old retiring wrestling fans. Like went to WCW or, like the other joints. Like, I don't know if y'all, I ain't gonna mention the other ones, but they would go, like, they would have this other, like, ACW. Like, they have all these other little wrestling organizations where all the retired, like Kurt Angle and all the motherfuckers go, and Booker T when they washed up. Like, that's how RBE is. RBE is where I feel like the battle rappers that aren't wanted, like your Mav Hoffers and show offs and people like that, where they kind of couldn't cut it, or they weren't, their talent, or they reached their ceiling to the point where it wasn't good enough to be on URL.
Basically, the outsiders.
The outsiders, basically.
The outsiders. So I think Cassidy. I think
that's Cassidy's lane. He fits perfect.
Right. That's why I think he picked RBE, because it's like, okay, they're not going to be as ego-driven as fucking URL and King of the Dot is. Plus, on top of that, there really isn't going to be much of a crowd there. So that's actually going to work out.
Nah.
There's not going to be too much of a crowd there, so people are going to be able to hear what
Why you feel like it's not going to be too much of a crowd? Because I'm hearing anywhere between 400 to 500 to 1,000 people.
I mean, with this Corona shit.
Nah, the COVID and shit, I don't think it's like that in Atlanta.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta, they say it ain't really, it's pretty much gone.
As opposed to a URL and King of the Dot crowd, it's, it's the smallest crowd. But at the end of it, if Cassidy takes another loss, I don't think he's going to be able to handle it. I don't think his ego is going to be able to handle it. I don't think he'll come back to battle rap if he loses this battle. That's just my opinion. I think his ego is so big for so many years that he's so far deep.
I mean, it's really at that point no use to come back to battle rap.
Right. But what I'm saying, his ego is always looking for that adulation. It's always looking for the compliments. It's always looking for the, yo, you the man, yo. He's not going to be able to come back because he knows that battle rap is just going to be like, no, dude, you good. You might as well just just chill somewhere else.
Yeah, Stuff Williams said Atlanta wide open.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a lot of people in Atlanta though, because the COVID shit ain't hitting over there like it is, certain places. Man, Nixon was just talking about that. He said folks down there partying right now for All-Star Weekend.
I see it.
But like I was just saying though, salute to Stuff. Like I was just saying though, right? Cassidy is Cassidy. He's going to take himself wherever he goes. And if you notice or not, a lot of people out there, I know you probably already noticed though, Carlos, is that all of the battle rappers, like not all of them, but a nice amount of battle rappers are taking shots at Cassidy.
Oh yeah, well he did it to himself.
Again, bro. Yeah, he did it to himself. He did it to himself. So you can't think you just gonna go from the URL and go to the RBE, which I do agree with Carlos that's more of Cassidy's line, but you still want to face the similar noise, not as much, because the crowd in the URL is between the ages of like 18 and 30.
He's trying to put as much of a cap on it as he can.
Exactly, but the Avengers will be there. Trust and believe that.
They're gonna be with him. They're gonna be rolling up his Dutches in the background while he. But see, to me, what Cass did, and I be having like these weird analogies that fit to me. What Cass did to me is like me being from Philly, right, and going up to the hardest hood in fucking California, and going to a deep blood fucking neighborhood or Crip neighborhood, and just going in the middle of the block and saying "fuck the Crips."
Oh man.
Or fuck the Bloods. That's what it basically looked like. What Cass did to the battle rappers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a battle rap. It's like, who the fuck is y'all? Like, I'm coming in here.
And then also look at it this way, right? Too, like you just said, to elaborate a little bit on it. Mm-hmm. They looking at Cassidy like a father that left the home and left them to like pretty much fend for themselves, because Cassidy was what. Like Mook and all of them, like Cassidy was the dude. He was the dude, and it was like he chose the industry, and rightfully so. He chose the better opportunity for himself, but it's also a downside with that in the battle rap. Is that while you chose that, your illegitimate children were like, I don't think Cassidy understand what he say. Cassidy be saying stuff as like a way to promote and shit, but it'd be funny, but he'd be kind of like spot on. He be getting to certain shit. Like when he said, I ain't got time to save the slaves right now. I ain't got time to save my sons, and my son should have wrote me a Father's Day card. Really is. Those are really Cassidy's sons. Those are really his sons in a figurative sense, because
he broke the styles. Yeah.
And they treat Cassidy like he's their dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, what do? They cry and they complain. Or how's Cassidy, like Mook too? How is Mook supposed to get all this money? When Mook first got all that money, and everybody got jealous and got mad. When Cassidy was supposedly got, that 200 something thousand that he got, everybody was mad. Like they get mad at dad, basically.
I would ask those same battle rappers. I would flip it on them. I would be like, oh, so you're complaining about how much he gets. What about how your opponent feels about how much you get?
Exactly. But the point I was trying to make is is that it's no escaping. Cassidy is going to have to show people, yeah, I'm your daddy, and this is why. This is why. Only way Cassidy can quiet that noise is for Cassidy to be the Cassidy we know he's capable of. If he be that Cassidy, ain't shit nobody can say or do, because promotion-wise, Cassidy is the best.
Yeah, he's putting these, and that's another reason why they're jealous too, because they felt like they could be complacent. And well, these people are still going to watch these battles. And then Cash was like, no, that's not enough. You gotta fucking promote. You got to promote. And he's right. You have to promote. I agree with that 100% when it comes to him. You have to promote. But in the same sense, though, like when you talk about the father shit, he's that father that came back into the kid's life after he saw they were doing well. After he saw like they turned themselves into something that he wants to come back and read.
Hey, real shit. And now they looking like it. Like I always tell my homeboys, man, that's like your father coming home, right? And he just got out of jail, and now he want to come home and establish some ground rules. Who the fuck is you? You ain't been in my damn life. How the fuck you gonna try to come and tell me something? You done missed 20, 15 something years of my life. You want to come in here and tell me to take out the trash? You better get the fuck out of my face. You see what I'm saying?
You 21 years old. He talking about now I need you back in the house by 10 o'clock. Hey, hold up, nigga. The fuck? You just got home. What the fuck?
Nigga want to turn back the hourglass and shit.
Like, nigga, you
Come on, man. You want to turn back the hourglass? You better get the fuck out of my face before you get glass.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that like he'll be one of those dads that get offended that you say no, I don't want you in my life.
Yeah, but hey, that's Cassidy. It's Cassidy, right? Yeah, but right. I'm still no matter what, I'm still your motherfucking father.
You said we got the same blood running through each other, son.
I don't care that I spent most of my time in jail for doing stupid shit, and that's the reason why your ass doing stupid shit. It don't matter to me.
It's your mama fault.
But that's like long story short though. But that's Cassidy. That's what Cassidy is. He coming back, like you said, seeing his kids that made it to the pros, seeing his children and made something out of themselves. Now he want to come back and hey, daddy here. Yeah, hey, you remember who gave you that jump shot, right?
But on another note though,
go ahead.
What percentage do you think that Cassidy actually humbled himself a bit? Because we really from this battle since it's announced, we really haven't heard nothing from Cassidy really. Little bit, but it's been like some Twitter shit that he just promotes the battle. But usually by this time, Cassidy is 10 interviews deep. You know what I mean? So is he really just sitting there in his lab listening to one of his beats that he made, and then writing this shit? And is he really sitting there? Because like I said, Cassidy's calculated. But even though his ego is big, could he be this time listening to somebody?
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you exactly. You just gave me an idea, right? I'm gonna tell you exactly what Cassidy doing. You know how human beings, particularly in the black community, you know how black people always act like they don't need help just so that they can be the ones that say that they did it themselves.
That's us too. That's just in the urban area, period.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, like this is what Cassidy is doing. Cassidy don't want to take advice. In the narcissism and all that is true as well. But he want to be the one that say, I did it all myself. I didn't need no help. I didn't look to know, like, because his whole thing is, I'm God tier. I'm over Mook, I'm over Lux, I'm over everybody. So why would somebody that think like that need help from those type of people or people that's beneath those people? Go ahead.
You're beneath me. I'm up here, you're down here. So why?
And that's why I say, and when until Cassidy removes that thought out of his mind, he's going to continue to lose like he's been losing. Because he has this is either my way or the highway mentality.
Well, as long as you have motherfuckers sucking on his balls like most of these motherfuckers do, then his ego is never going to allow him to feel like he lost. His ego is always going to be like, oh, I'm 5,500 now.
Again, like Sway 7 said, how could you admit you lost when you won't even admit you got flaws?
Right. So like the stuff that he says and how he's been, I've listened to him since he was fucking 16, since I was like 16. So I know mostly a lot of shit about Cass and how he moves and shit. But he's always been that way. Like I said, we've got him to that point where we've counted him since he was 16. He's Jay Reed right now. He's so deep into this shit. Like he's in the when remember in Get Out when she motherfucking hit the spoon and that motherfucker fell into his conscious.
Yeah, I mean, he always been like that. He always been like that since he was 16. But the only difference from then and now is that Cassidy was that dude at that time. Like now, he haven't reinvented himself to be that dude in this era, like kind of like how Jay-Z and them did.
Right. See what Cass did was he got so up on the compliments that he didn't look at the criticism. And he didn't have that balance to say, I'm going to keep it even keel to where I don't listen to the criticism or listen to the compliments so where I know I can still work hard. Because he got complacent. He thought his shit was going to be the shit all the way. And then if he would have listened too much to the fucking complaining, he would have got too fucking into his work and then he would have got worse. So he just said, fuck it, this is the easier road. I'm just going to take the easy road. As long as everybody loves me, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm going to do. If you think about it, Cassidy's gotten lyrically better, but he's pretty much the same rapper. He's still a punchline rapper. It's just that his filler has gotten much better. That's all. He's just been reading the dictionary. That's it. You know what I mean?
But I want Cassidy to alleviate from the ideology of, pleasing himself.
Yeah.
Pause. But, instead of pleasing yourself, please the people that are actually paying for you to please them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he has this mentality like, okay, I'm saying some of the great shit. I'm reinventing and I'm changing the way everything is viewed and all that. That's great. But that only works if it works.
Yeah, the action. Don't listen to the words or pay attention to the action.
It only works if it works. If people actually like it. If it don't, you gotta throw that shit away and go to plan B.
See now, the thing that'll really mess him up. Like, see, I know Cass don't give a fuck that the battle rappers don't give a fuck about him or they hate him because he looks at it like hate. See now, what would have hurt him is that the battle rap fans who were supporting him are gonna start turning on him. They're gonna be looking at like, yo.
Hey,
bro,
I don't think he kind of give a fuck about that neither. But like you said, once it get to, the people that are really close to him,
right?
That's when it's gonna hit.
It's the message. It's not the messenger. It's the message that he listens to. He don't give a fuck about the messenger. He just gives a fuck about the adulation of the message. Now, when the adulation stops, that's when his ego is gonna be like, hold up, now I can't take this shit no more. Now, I kind of feel
like Cassidy does because I know he watches this stuff. I ain't gonna tell people how I know. You just. But my thing is this, right? I think, like I said, it goes right back to that mentality, that hood mentality, that mentality of I want to be the one to say that I did it all on my own. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I want to be the one that say I figured it out, and I don't want people to know that I had any help to do it. So when he look at this stuff, he won't give credit to the people that gave him. Like, he'll probably be listening to the gems and shit that we've been dropping in this video. I can tell you certain interviews that Cassidy been in, and he used a lot of my talking points and flipped them in his interviews.
It's only if it benefits him. He'll
like, you remember one, for instance, right? You remember the one when I said about the object of the game is putting the ball into the hoop.
Exactly. That's what I tell people all the time. No matter what moves you make, it don't matter how fancy you are. It don't matter if you put it between your legs, if you just dribble it with your right hand or with your left. The point is putting the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, the people call those style points, which really aren't points.
Who cares?
You see what I'm saying?
It's still 2 points. You don't get no bonuses for that shit. It's sweet for the crowd, but it's at the end of the day, it's just 2 points.
And that's something that Cassidy can use against Hitman. Because Hitman is a performer. He could use something like that and flip on Hitman.
See, that's what Nixon made a great point earlier where he's talking about he could remix his shit. Now, that's one thing I think Cassidy could possibly do is, like, I think he's going to put more performance in this battle rap because he knows that Hitman's a performer. So he's going to try to perform more in this battle.
I think that's the wrong strategy.
Huh?
I think that's the wrong strategy. If Cassidy comes in and he tries to outperform Hitman, that's like you trying to outpunch Nitty or Magic or something like that. It's not going to end pretty for you. What I think Cassidy should do is to channel his inner vintage Cassidy and try to get back to punching.
Just talk to Hitman.
No, don't talk. Yeah, punch. Performers. Kryptonite is punch. It's punching.
He should have trained looking at some Rum Nitty videos, Danny Myers, Twerk. He should have been sparring looking at videos like that. Like, okay, because he's not stupid. He's a smart dude. He went to the smartest. He went to one of the top high schools in Philadelphia.
You know what Cassidy did in the Goods first round? That was punching. That was bars. Yeah. Dude, give us 3 rounds of that in that first round with Goods. Give us 3 rounds of that, of new material, fresh material, and he has a good chance of beating Hitman. Because Hitman is a performer. Performance is kind of king, but performance is not what does the job. When people count, they count bars. When they do the point system, they count the bars. They count the punches. They count the creativity of the bars and the punches and the potency. They don't count the performance. So that's something that Cassidy can use to nullify what Hitman doing. And that's what I was asking Nixon about Disaster. I said what Cassidy did against Disaster was good, was tailor-made and good for Disaster. Yeah. But you're gonna have to you can't use the same approach you did with Disaster against Hitman because they're 2 entirely different styles.
Yeah, it's like boxing. You can't fight the same way versus every opponent.
And Cassidy and Jack both came in here talking about they on some strategist type shit, but that's actually strategy. That's really strategy. Cassidy was on some strategist shit against Disaster, but he has to find out a way to do that to Hitman, and the way to do that to Hitman is punches and bars. That's how you beat Hitman.
The funny thing, he's talking about he was like a 5 or 6 versus Goods, and he was gonna be like an 8 and a 9 versus Arsenal. The funny thing is, Disaster, it was his best performance was versus Disaster. So what, he was like a 10 versus Disaster.
Yeah. You know how Cassidy always pushed bars his back? Okay, well, this is the battle. Like, if I was right there with Cassidy right now, let's say Cassidy listened to this video, he called me up and say, hey, Double R, because he still got my number. I still got his number. So he called me up and say, Double R, what you think I should do? All right, you say I'm not listening to people. All right, I'm listening to you. What you say I should do? First thing you should do is do your research. If you're doing your research, do the research. Because that's going to be very essential to the bars and shit that you're going to create.
Adjusting,
You know, and talk about, like Nixon said, current events. Don't talk about shit that happened years ago, because they're gonna label that as outdated. Don't even talk about shit that ain't got nothing to do with your opponent. The same shit that you do in the face-offs, do that shit in the battle.
That's the one thing I'm worried about. That's the one thing that I'm worried about. If Cass even does everything that we say that we should suggest him to do as fans, he does everything right, the performance, whatever he's talking about, but if everything is outdated, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, you did better in this battle, but it's like still like,
because to be completely honest, that second and third round against Goods was not bad, but it was how he performed it.
Right.
It was how he had some shit about the hijack and the jack in the box, and he had some shit, but he didn't perform it right. Like, if let's say Hitman would have performed Cassidy's second and third round, that shit would have been fire.
Right. He would have had more energy. He would have added different.
If Twerk, that's why I keep telling Cassidy need to holler at Twerk. He need to talk to Twerk or Briz. Two people that I would call if I was Cassidy, Twerk and Briz. Fuck K-Shine, fuck Tay-Rock. Because them niggas ain't got bars. They ain't got really bars like that.
And another thing is that a lot of battle rap fans don't like that slow flow.
Yeah.
They don't like that slow flow. That's why it took so many years for Chilla to get his respect.
That'll be another one. Hey, that'll be another name for Cassidy to holler at. I think Cassidy respect Chilla out of all of them. If I was Cassidy, because he ain't really, feeling these new young motherfuckers. But Cassidy should call somebody like Chilla, because Chilla know exactly what Cassidy going through, because Chilla had to speed up his flow.
But let's be honest though, like in Cassidy, I'm just thinking, like, I'm gonna look at this from Cassidy's perspective, looking at the battle, right? Okay, remember when he had told Danny, when Danny said that, yo, Cassidy got some shit for ours?
Yeah.
And what was it? It was really some shit, some ass.
Bars. Go ahead.
So, and I'm talking about this from Cassidy's ego, and I'm sitting there. I'm Cass. So if they think that my shit was ass, and Danny says my shit was fire, who am I going to be able to really talk to, or tell them my shit, and they really going to be honest about it?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Like, and I'm not saying this about anybody in particular. I'm just saying, let's say he does go to Chilla, and Chilla's on Angry Fan, or he's on whoever, 15 Minutes of Fame, and he says, yo, the shit that Cassidy got for Hitman is some of the best shit I ever heard. And then he comes out there and niggas is like, what? What the fuck was this?
Exactly. Hey, hold on, Los. Salute to Kafani Coleman, my brother, for the $5 Cash App donation. Salute to my brother Kenneth for the $10 donation. Salute to y'all fellas, man. Also salute to Carlos, man, for the $5 donation. On YouTube, but I know you, my boy, you got me. But
I just think a lot of things need to come into play here. Like, I think there's luck that needs to be involved, and I also think that Hitman Holler, we need to have a Hitman Holler that's not going to take it serious. I think that's the only way I can see Cassidy beat. If Hitman Holler just coming and looking at like, well, this is just another bag. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I could see Cass beating him if Hitman comes complacent. But I don't see that because that's going to be a notch on his belt. And a lot of people that can sit there and say, yo, I beat Cassidy or I battle Cassidy. So
I shall never die. You're right, bro. I shall never die said, didn't Danny say Cass ain't spit to Goods what he spit to him? I think that was either Danny or Math. One of them said that he ain't spit the same shit in the battle that he spit to them.
Right.
See, Cassidy, what you got to say on that, Los?
I think it was JC was the first one he was talking about. I think it could have been JC, but I know Danny Myers was talking about the Arts battle when he said Cass spit 2 rounds to me or some shit like that. Or something, and then he was like, yo, this is gonna be some shit. And you know.
Kenneth Robinson said Cassidy is stubborn. The reason he was good against Disaster is because he mimicked his style and was better at it and used current events. Yep, and then also timing, what we just talked about, timing. Like, what's the name brought up a great point? True Sinister. He brought up a great point. Even the mimic that he did, it wasn't super fast. It wasn't super crazy. It was the timing. Remember what he said? You scared that I was gonna fly Math out here to knock your bitch ass out, and that he'd spin you around rotisserie style. Like that shit was even slow. That shit wasn't even that good. It was just the fact that Cassidy stuck to current events. See, Cassidy can get away. Hold on, bro. Cassidy can get away as long as he, brings that swagger, and that's what people don't realize too. In a disaster battle, Cassidy brought a certain swagger with him.
You know what else?
Go ahead.
You know what else? He brought a wow factor to it because I don't think anybody expected him to do a disaster impersonation.
Okay, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So yes, he definitely has to use the current, and yes, it's wrong to mimic the guy's style because that's what's used in battle rap. You mimic the guy's style to mock him. Battle rap is basically belittling your opponent no matter how you do it. Talking about his clothes, talking about his mama, talking about killing his family. I mean, it's got more extreme nowadays compared to back in the day. But the point is, you got to do something to your opponent to make him feel like, oh shit.
And doing it in a swaggy kind of way.
Right, in a swaggy kind of way. Be Cassidy. See, you're trying to be. I don't know. It's like he's really trying to be Thanos or some shit, or you think he's James Sun or some shit.
And one thing people are saying too about Cassidy, just piggybacking off what Carlo just said, is Cassidy is set. What I heard from that Arsenal battle in particular, Cassidy almost. I said this myself. Cassidy almost looked like because remember when Freeway had performed on the stage, Cassidy almost looked like he could have went on ahead and did a tour with Freeway. He could have just went on ahead and performed with him because it didn't look like he was battle rapping. It looked like he was doing one performing "Come to My Hotel" on stage. Huh?
Versus who again?
Against Arsenal.
Okay.
It didn't look like he was battle rapping. It looked like he was kind of like performing one of his songs.
See, I think with that, what I think with that was, I think Cassidy got caught in the middle. Like either you're gonna dunk the ball, or you're gonna lay it up. He got caught in the middle trying to do more performance mixing his battle. So he's at that point he's still adjusting. So it's like I see what you're saying. So I think he tried to oversaturate the performance over the bars.
So basically, kind of similar to Jag, he was basically learning on the fly.
Right. The current way it is now, because they come from Cassidy. We know Cassidy just come from. I'm gonna walk right here on the corner. We're gonna have our 16 best raps, and we just gonna keep going until we stop. That's where we come from.
We gonna rewind back to Cassidy in a minute, but let's slide on over to Jag real quick, right? So Jag a funny motherfucker. So I saw the interview, right? You seen the interview when Jag was talking about O-Red and how he drive the Uber and shit.
He's like, you see me, I'm in front of my shit right now. Yeah.
Nah, what he was like, after the bat. Hey, one thing I can say about Cassidy and Jag, them niggas.
They were in front of his house.
He
had on the black hoodie.
Yeah, them two niggas are marketing geniuses. Like these niggas is fucking promotional geniuses. Because Jag was like, he told what's the name? He said, yeah, after I beat you hold on. He said, after I beat your ass in the battle, right? He said, I'm gonna get you to pick me up in one of your Ubers. He said, and I'm gonna give you back the money that I beat you for. I'm gonna give you back a little bit of that for driving me to Roof Chris to my date.
He said you could drive me and my girl there, and me and my homies out giving.
And he said we could talk about the battle on the way. We could talk about what I just did to you on the way.
Yeah.
That's some dirty ass shit. Like, you could pick me up in the Uber. I'm gonna give you a portion of the money back that I won from you, and you're gonna drive me and my date to Roof Chris while we're talking about me whooping your ass on the way.
See, but that makes a lot of battle rappers envious too, because that's like uber confidence right there in your work. That's like the ultimate confidence, just telling you, yo, after I beat you, I'm gonna talk to you why I beat you and explain to you how I beat you.
Somebody said that they was right. They said Jag and Cassidy, especially Jag, they said Jag has a sort of animalistic type of confidence.
He comes from the fucking gang neighborhood in California.
Yeah, and he comes from that era of battle rap, like Daylight and all of them. They come from that era with that rundown era, as Daylight would call it, the rundown era with like Murder Mook and what's your boy name? J Mills and all them.
Mills. Yeah.
But they just, you know how J Mills talk, and they just talk extra reckless. You know, it's a different type of
slick talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's slick talk. I'm gonna look good in front of you while making you look bad. I'm gonna
and even if they not going to do it, it's just like J Mills. Not to switch on the topic, but J Mills, Jag, Cassidy. I think some of them have this kind of like sort of complex about what they used to be. You see what I'm saying? They try to lead with what they used to be in a whole different era, a whole different time. And the thing is, out of all of those three, Jag is the only one. Jag pretty much has it. He pretty much has it, but it's about putting it together with him.
Or when it comes to J Mills and Cass, it could be something that they want it to be.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, they talk about that rap lifestyle, but they ain't do half that shit that they talk about.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely saw that interview. That shit had me dying, bro. He's like, we in front of the crib right now, cuz we in front of the crib right now, blood.
Hey, didn't he say that nigga teeth dropped out and he grabbed it and put it in some water?
Yeah, when he was talking about he battled was it B Magic? Was it when he battled B Magic?
No, it wasn't B Magic.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow, blood. That's what he said. He said, we gonna talk about your teeth falling down in the middle of a battle. You have to put that bitch in a cup of water, blood.
Hey, I'm gonna read Ray Santana message real quick. I mean, well, not real quick. After I say what I'm gonna say. Now this is the moment where we can see, because people keep questioning. I notice people keep questioning Jag, and it's a reason. And I want to pose that question too, right? About how Jag is going to respond to the crowd. See, Jag think it's easy, and he's basically saying the same thing Cassidy said, and we know he's not Cassidy.
Right, he's a little more.
But he has been doing Cassidy type of behavior lately. One of them, which is having a horrible performance against 40 Cal. You see what I'm saying? So
horrible period.
The battle was horrible, and we all know that Jag, that was a money grab. That's basically a money grab.
That was like one of the worst style clashes I've seen.
I don't even consider 40 Cal a battle rapper. I never did. I don't consider him. I consider him a fucking night shift worker. You see what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, Cassidy versus 40 Cal sounds more fucking
logical.
Cassidy versus fucking Hitman.
Yeah. I would like to see Jag versus Hitman.
Jag versus Hitman sounds more believable. That shit sounds more believable. But I like O-Red though. O-Red definitely gonna, even after he talked all that shit, he's like, he got bars. He got bars, but you know, I'm gonna have him Uber me and my girl to Roof Chris after I beat him. My homies take the Bentley truck.
But Los, I wanted to go here, right? Oh, Ray Santana. I think he might have forgotten his lines and went to some writtens not to choke. Hey, he also kept going back getting water about 10 times.
Hold up. But if you forgot your lines are written. So how are you gonna have written lines if you already forgot your written lines? Wouldn't that be considered freestyling if you didn't choke?
But then also too, right? But also too, people always say, well, at least Cassidy don't choke. But my answer to that is, of course you're not gonna choke rapping the shit that he rap.
It don't matter. It's
like let's say when Magic and Twerk choke. The way that they're rapping is entirely difficult when you compare it to what Cassidy is rapping.
Right, totally different.
So of course, but that's the question I want to ask about Jag. I know it seems easy to Jag, but it's not as easy when you're rapping, you're in that mode, and somebody say, "Oh," and you wasn't expecting it, and now you threw off your whole train of thought, and now you up there like Calico, got to go all the way back from the beginning.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
But I think in a way it's kind of similar to being a performer being a performer as you're rapping, because you have the crowd fucking screaming the whole time, and you're trying to remember your raps and all that shit. I get it's a little different when it comes to battle rap because you don't have no beat. You know what I mean? You're not. You know what I mean? But I think Cassidy and Jag, they've done this enough to where I don't even think they really see the crowd or pay attention to the crowd. I think they're already in their zone. So, but I get what you're saying.
Hey, people call up, but I want to ask Los. I want to ask you this question. Now, I already asked True Sinister this question. I want to ask you.
What's up?
Jag and Cassidy, the collision course. Like, do you read into it too much? Or if you do read into it and see where I can see why it's happening, or you agree, what is your view on it?
Okay. Be realistically speaking, it's a possibility, but the only reason I don't see it happening, well, like I said, I'm gonna look at it both ways. I can see it happening the simple fact of the egos getting in the way, and then they end up talking shit about each other, and it gets to a point where it's like, all right, fuck that, we're gonna battle each other. But then they could go the other way where they've been working with each other, been around each other so long that they have that respect for each other, enough respect for each other to like.
But I don't even think it's really, well, it's ultimately in their control, but I don't think it's really in their control because of the two personalities. Like Cassidy I don't think he's going to be able to take Jag outshining him and doing the things that he always wanted to do in this battle rap shit. And I don't think, Jag is really going to, like Cassidy, continuously trying to undermine him to get that attention.
It's like he don't want to stay in his shadow no more. I want to break off and branch off myself now.
You can see Jag slowly doing that. You can see Jag like slowly doing that literally, and you can see Jag throwing kind of shots. He's throwing like certain shots to show. Go ahead.
If it does happen, like you stay around, if it's onto collision courts, it's going to be more on Cassidy than Jag. I think Cassidy's going to be the one to pull it out. He's going to be the one because his ego is not going to be able to handle it. Like I said, I think Jag is a little more humble to be like, all right, I ain't.
See, Jag don't want to though. Like I've spoken to Jag. Like Jag, he didn't say this or nothing, but Jag, I could tell Jag don't want to. He's very loyal to Cassidy. He want to always view Cassidy as the big homie, the big brother. But I feel like Cassidy ain't gonna leave Jag no choice.
Okay.
Cassidy is gonna get too kind of like caught up in, Jag outshining him, and he ain't, like you say, he's not gonna be able to take it. He's not gonna be able to take it, and it's gonna ooze out. Like, you know how you might have a certain friend that might be around you, and they can't fake it too long before you will do something that's gonna make them be like, you know what? Like, you say, ever since you got this, you've been showing off. Ever since you got this, you've been acting different. And you like, oh yeah, this nigga always felt this way about me. But he kept smiling because you didn't really give him an avenue where he can expose himself yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jag is going to do something, and it may very well be outshining Cassidy on April the 3rd.
He's not going to like that. He's going to have the energy instead of himself.
Because remind you, Jag came to pretty much all of Cassidy's battles. The only one he didn't come to was the Arsenal battle, and that one, from what I heard, was because of Cassidy. But he did not come to the Arsenal battle. But Cassidy has yet to come to any one of Jag's battles, and Jag has been battling in Cassidy's, where he lives at. I ain't gonna say his city, but actually where he got a home at, in Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
So now they both on the same card together.
Uh-huh.
Will Cassidy actually, because we all know Jag is going to battle before Cassidy, because he's the co-main event. Cassidy is the main event. So
the nature they got.
Will Cassidy show up to this battle for Jag, or will Cassidy focus more on Hitman and wait until his round come up?
I don't think Cassidy's even going to show up till it's time for him to battle. He might not even get building while Jag is rapping.
K-Rod, salute. New subscriber? Yeah, new subscriber. Salute to you. Thank you. Welcome to the family.
Anyway, bro, I got to let you go, man. I got a couple things I got to handle myself. I had to step out real quick.
Carlos Rosado, people. Carlos in the building, my brother.
Salute everybody, my brother.
Be safe out there, bro. All right, so who else want to call in? We taking calls. Also, let me do my roll call. Donate to the Cash App. Cash App is below. Retro Rob 24. Money sign. Also donate to the PayPal. If you can. If it ain't nothing but $1. Every little bit counts, man. Somebody donated. Well, Kenneth Robinson already did. Salute to my brother, Kenneth Robinson, man. Let me get to some of these comments and shit. All right, let me go. K-Rod in the building. I shall never die in the building. Let me get to these comments. Let me go from the top. I shall never die said, yeah, definitely harder not to choke if you focus on your flow on top of remembering your bars. If you have no flow, it's easier. Oh, you talking about the magic and shit like that. Yeah, as opposed to Cassidy. Yeah, Cassidy, yeah, you're right. Cassidy has no flow. You see what I'm saying? He has no flow and he has no subject matter. He has no subject matter. So all you got to do, that's a point, bro. That's a point. That's a real point. All he have to do really is focus on, the things that he's saying, and in all respect, he ain't really doing that right. You see what I'm saying? Like, least you can do is focus on the subject matter and the words and stuff and the things that you talk about to your opponent, and focus on directing them to your opponent at that particular time. And he don't even do that right. There's no disrespect to Cassidy. We just telling the truth, man. We just telling the truth. There's a lot of people that be like, oh, double R, you switching up, double R. Okay, if that's what you want to believe, you can believe that. I understand that's your husband. I understand y'all got y'all vows. Y'all ready to get ready. Y'all gonna do a quarantine marriage. I understand that, man. That don't mean everybody got to agree to it. Everybody ain't looking at your husband that way. All right, so let me see what we got. My brother Stuff Williams, Cash is stuck in his ways even before he had the app. Stop. Let me see. Kenneth Robinson. He said Cassidy and Jag are going to clash no matter what. Yeah, like again, it's more so about Cassidy than it is Jag. Because Jag, he wants, that's his brother. You feel me? That's his man. Like, I never seen an instance, like even when me and Jag spoke on the phone, I never seen an instance where Jag even gave me the feel or the energy that he was trying to get disrespectful or talk about Cassidy in that way. It was always love, man. It was always the big brother respect. And just to see, what Cassidy is doing. And I know Jag see it too. And I know he want to keep, but sometimes in life, even in my personal friendships and relationships, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. You ain't necessarily got to dive in head on, but it's a way that you can go about handling that without faking like it ain't going on. You see what I'm saying? And that's what people do. How many people out here like hang around people that they don't want to be around? How many family members have knocked on your door, asked a favor, or asked could they stay with you, but you really didn't want to say yes, but you said yes because it's quote unquote family. And you turn around realizing that you made the biggest mistake in your life. But it's a lesson. I shall never die. Let me see what my brother was talking about. He said, oh, damn. Just so y'all know, I was responding to what Retro said, not what K-Rod just wrote. LOL. What did K-Rod just wrote? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, I got you, champ. I got you. All right. Let me see who else we got. Salute the Argon show, my brother. Let me see what he talk about. He said they ride Cass again so hard, and we are going to witness another loss. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And unless anybody got any questions, I will end it here. Any more questions? Anybody else want to call up, give their hot take on it? I kind of shouldn't have went this long. I appreciate the donations, but we did not get enough donations. So I'm gonna allow y'all to give me. I go out of my way to deliver this content, people, from the heart. So at least y'all can do is contribute. And the ones that did, salute to you. Any more call ups? Any more questions? Let me see. Let me scroll down and see before we shut it down. But thank y'all for coming through to this channel, to this show. Peace, folks. All right, man. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, salute to y'all, man. And I holla.